right, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Train World TV. And tonight we have another very special edition, none other than Athearn Model Trains, and we have the new associate brand manager, Jim Wiggin. How you doing, Jim?
Hey, Ken, doing great. How about yourself?
All right, not too bad. And Jim is a great guy. He's actually a N-scale modeler, right? You were telling me
Yeah, that's
before?
true.
So,
Yep.
so he's got train in his veins, and he's pumping out some new product and really pushing Athearn to the next level. And I've been hearing Genesis 2.0, so we're going to discuss that. Plus, Athearn has a brand new announcement that you're not going to want to miss. This is going to be the train that everybody needs on their layout. So more to come, and plus much more great Athearn announcements that we're used to seeing. And let's see where everybody's coming from this evening, and put it in the chat. And it's always good to see how far people are traveling in to join us tonight. And obviously, we can't see you guys in person, but it's great to see where everyone's from. And we have South Carolina here tonight, which is great. And so we appreciate everybody for joining us. Now, Jim, where do you want to start?
Well, you know what? We've got so much cool stuff. It's hard to begin. But why don't we start with, you kind of alluded to that really cool announcement. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So do you want to tell everybody the big new announcement? And I'm not sure if you could share a picture on screen of it, because that would be helpful. If not, I'll get a picture up and going. But let's talk about this new announcement, because I think let's hit it right off the bat, because this is going to be an absolute slam dunk from you guys.
Oh, we're really excited about this. The Genesis SD70As, I mean, they're all over the place in the United States and Canada. So it's a popular locomotive in the first place, and it was popular with us. We released it back in around 2012. It's been a bit since we've really done the SD70As. So we wanted to do a few things. We wanted to bring it back to the modeler. We wanted to give them the schemes that we were getting the most requests for. And this time we wanted to give it an upgrade. We wanted to go ahead and give it the Genesis 2.0 upgrade. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But let me show you some of the eye candy that we've got here at Athearn. Can you see my screen all right there, Ken?
Yep, we see it. And that's a great word, eye candy, because these paint schemes are that indeed.
They are indeed. That is correct. I mean, these are just, here we have 3 of the most popular heritage units that we got requested from Athearn customers. Sometimes we hear it from our fans on Train Tuesdays. Sometimes we get it from an email, but we got a lot of requests for these 3 heritage units, as you see here. Now, here's the cool thing. We did the same thing that the prototype did. Around 2005 is when these originally got painted. Now we're looking flash forward to 2017, and these, like I said in my Train Tuesday, these things don't go into a garage overnight like our Mustangs or Corvettes or even our pickup truck. They're out there in the real world getting dirty and grimy. So by 2017, they were looking a little long in the tooth. So what UP did is they repainted them, and you know what? That's what we did too. We're using the second repaint. So these represent the locomotives from 2017 and newer.
Really?
So that's
interesting.
Yeah, these are a little bit different than the first ones. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Really cool, because if you're a modeler and you're doing present day, 27 to present day, these are perfect. They've been updated just like they were on the UP. And as such, we've gone through the detail to paint them as accurately as we can with the Union Pacific Railroad. And so these are the 2017 plus repaints that you see here.
Gorgeous.
And man, they're attractive. I mean, that Missouri Pacific, just beautiful paint scheme.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got the Western Pacific, and I mean, who can forget the Katy? I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous paint schemes, unique, different. and they're actual trains. So
Exactly.
what could get better than that?
Exactly. Yeah. That's the fun part of it. And I mean, these are, you don't even have to be a UP fan to pick one of these up, because we all know in modern days, I mean, how many times when I'm rail fanning on the Transcon, which is a BNSF line, I've caught the Katy out there. So they go all over the United States, and so it doesn't matter what you model. If you model present day, 2017 to present day, this is a great model to add to your collection.
It's funny, Jim, because Tie Train Rocks actually says he saw the Katy unit 3 days ago. So they're on the rails. So that's great. Very cool.
So we'll scroll down a little bit here, and we were just talking about BNSF. That's one of my favorite contemporary railroads to rail fan.
And just
check this out. Go ahead.
James is asking, what scale are these? These are HO scale units. So
that's correct. Yep. These are HO. They're part of the Genesis line of Athearn models, and they've featured the new Genesis 2.0. Now, what we're doing here is, I mean, we've got the present day BNSF modern. Some people call it the swoosh.
Yep.
This is a really sharp paint scheme, that nice orange and black with that new modern logo they've been using since 2005. We're offering it in 3 different road numbers, but something I want to point out too is BNSF on their prototype locomotives, they have a 6-step on their pilots. If you look here carefully, they have 6 steps, whereas the UP have 5. Well, we went ahead, since we're gonna model the BNSF on these. These have the accurate 6 steps, just like the BNSF locomotives in present day. We've also equipped it with the BNSF style PTC antennas, so they are as accurate as you're going to find in HO scale.
Very nice, beautiful stuff. So
here's the one, and I'm kind of hovering over it a little bit. I'll start with Montana Rail Link. Now, I'm originally from East Coast, so I'm used to the Northeast lines. But when I first moved to the Midwest, I started following Montana Rail Link. It's a cool railroad. In the early days, they had a lot of early Burlington Northern locomotives and stuff, and now they've become a really great railroad. And look at what they've got now. They've got these beautiful SD70 Aces. Now, Montana Rail Link is another line that was really well requested from our fans. So we went ahead, we started doing the research. Just like the Montana Rail Link versions, these too have the 6 steps. That's real important for the Montana Rail Link fan. And something that we were tasked to do is to put those 6 steps on the Montana Rail Links. We got just about everything done, finalized, and about November of last year, Montana Rail Link did something really cool. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll scroll down here. Check this out. They went ahead and they did the 4404, which is a thank you to the essential workers during one of the weirdest and heartbreaking years, really. I mean, there was so much going on with the pandemic, and there were so many people that Montana Rail Link wanted to extend a thank you to for, basically keeping the country rolling as much as it could. So this was their tribute locomotive to essential workers, and we found out about it, and we quickly, we assembled the development team, and we were, not only are we proud to represent this locomotive, but you'll see here that this little logo down here, Hobbies for Good. Hobbies for Good means that Horizon/Athearn, with every sale of this locomotive, proceeds go to essential workers. So that's our way in the hobby industry of saying thank you to everybody out there in all the different fields that kept on working while this pandemic was going on.
Wow. First, Jim, I don't even know where to start because there's so many aspects. And I want everybody out there to put it in the chat. Let us know what you think of this. And to hear that Athearn is actually giving some proceeds back to some of the essential workers, I mean, that kudos to you guys. So that's great. And so if you're actually buying this unit, your proceeds, will help out for that cause. So that's amazing. That's terrific, Jim. And I'm sure a lot of people don't really know about that. They see the engine, but don't really hear to the the good aspect that you guys are doing. So that's tremendous. Really kudos.
Yeah, it's a great thing that Montana Rail did in the first place. I mean, that's just a great thing. Of course, they've done a veterans unit as well. We've had some questions on the veteran unit. I don't have any solid answers yet, but it's something that we definitely are looking into. But we definitely wanted to get this essential workers unit out, and just kind of like doing the same thing as Montana Rail Link. I think it's nice to know that the purchase of something for our pastime, our the best hobby in the world, can be used to help the essential workers that just did so much during the 2020 and continue to do so now.
Yeah, and everybody out there, this is a beautiful paint scheme, and let's put some pressure on Athearn to come up with the other paint scheme as well that MRL did a special paint scheme for, and just gorgeous. And Joe is asking, is the engine at Train World? It's actually a pre-order item, so it's not out yet, but we are taking pre-orders on it. Jim, do you have an estimated timeline on this, or?
Yeah, definitely. These are going to be these should be showing up in January of 22, so not quite a year.
Gotcha. Perfect. And everybody is asking scales. This is going to be HO scale. No N scale yet.
No N scale yet. Yeah.
but HO is it's going to be a great place to start. Beautiful paint scheme. Now, I noticed this Genesis 2.0, Jim.
Yeah.
What exactly is Genesis 2.0 for everybody out there?
Sure. Genesis 2.0, we introduced it about around last March or so. And we started putting them, advertising them in models such as the SD60M. So what we've done with the Genesis 2.0, you still have all of the scale details that you're accustomed to, but amped up a little bit. You're going to get dual sugar cube speakers. You're going to have metal etch steps. In the past, we were relying on injection molded steps. Now they're metal etched. You can actually see through them, just like the real thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the other cool features, and this was a feature, again, this was all fan directed. People would give us input and we listened. We're not only doing the LED lights on your ditch lights and your headlights, but now your number boards have separate LEDs, so you can turn those on and off as you desire. And the really cool thing is, I know a lot of guys now, they're doing operation sessions that kind of mimic low light or nighttime operations. There's ground lights on these now. So, when you're in a rail yard at night or anywhere, so you see a train at night, you see those lights hitting the ground for safety reasons. We've mimicked that. That's actually in the frame, and it's really cool. Little features like that. Details like the rubber MU hoses, trying to just take that detail level just a step further. But something else that's really cool, and I can actually show you, we've got some cool pictures here as I scroll down. We'll talk about that Tacoma Rail one in a minute. But this gives you an idea. You see how these used to be plastic in the past. These are actually metal etched pieces. They look great in photography because you can actually see through them, just like you would with the real thing. They've got that grate system to them, so you can see them. But something that I'm really excited about is we're going to a modular PCB style decoder board. It's still the Tsunami 2.0, but you don't have all those wires. Remember, sometimes you get these modern locomotives with all these different lighting effects. You've got wires going everywhere. And if you want to do some basic maintenance or something to change around, trying to get all those wires in there while you're trying to put the shell back on, it's, you're afraid that you're going to pinch a wire and maybe destroy something. You don't have to worry about that anymore. With this PCB, it's just drop in and you're done. That's a big leap forward for Genesis.
That's awesome. And just the amount of details. I mean, Genesis has always been the high-end line, kind of the trendsetter and the standard that everybody tries to achieve in the total industry. So it's great to see that you guys are still putting the effort to keep on making that train detail better and better. So really great work.
And one of the things that Genesis has always prided itself about is, I think a lot of us as modelers, we forget it wasn't that long ago that if you wanted a Conrail GP38-2, you just got a Conrail GP38-2, and it looked the same as a Penn Central or a Southern Pacific. They pretty much all look the same, and we knew in the real world it's not like that. So you can also see here we're showing the BNSF PTC array. Subtle differences, even though this is technically the same model, they're all SD70 Aces. They have subtle details that are different depending on what road they serve. So again, like the Montana Rail Link and the BNSF, they have 6 steps, whereas the UP has 5, or a different antenna array. We really try to, with the Genesis line, we try to make all the prototype specific details based on that actual locomotive.
Now we're getting questions about weight. Light, medium, heavy.
These guys here, we try to weight them. I'm trying to remember the weight off the top of my head, and unfortunately I'm at a disadvantage. I don't remember. But
yeah, if you remembered that, I think we'd all give you credit.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but they are weighted appropriately so that they can haul, on straight and level track. They can really do a lot of haulage. Awesome. Actually, too, even with the Genesis 2.0, we found that when we started tweaking that frame a little bit, and we actually gained a little bit of weight. So tractive effort got actually better. So they definitely, I've got some SD60 M's here, and they definitely got some heft to them.
Yeah, very cool, very nice. I'm excited. I think this new Genesis 2.0 and the detail on the engines, and pair it up with these great paint schemes, these engines are going to fly off the shelf.
They really do. And I mean, one of the things that, I can tell your audience is they really need to get in touch with you and get a pre-order in, because, it's happened to me, Ken. You'd think the guy that works for Athearn wouldn't miss out, but it happens. It really does. You really, if you see something that you really like, go ahead, call the folks here at Train World and say, hey, I want this locomotive here, because I guarantee you, we always bring in a little bit more, but they sell out so quick. And I mean, just do yourself a favor and don't worry about it. Just go ahead and pre-order now.
Yeah, I remember when the Spirit engine that you guys did came in, it sold out so quick the first round. People were fuming that they couldn't get their hands on it. It was like unbelievable. So don't miss out, and definitely get your pre-order in. But these are going to be fantastic engines. And I thought it was interesting that the Heritage units, you mentioned it's going to be the later version that's actually on the rails. So that's pretty cool and unique.
Yeah, definitely. We figured since, the Union Pacific had done some upgrades, we were doing some upgrades too. We might as well just go that extra step. And, it seems hard to believe they originally came out in 2005. I mean, it seemed like yesterday those came out, but they're still just as popular now as they were back in 2005.
And the lighting features on it?
The lighting features? Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're going to have your LEDs and your ditch lights. You're going to have your dimming headlight. You're also going to have lit up number boards, and not on that version, but on some of the Canadian versions with anything with Genesis 2.0, they'll actually have functioning marker lights. The SD80s is a good example of that. Right. And then, of course, you got those ground lights, which now I will say from the factory, they are set a certain way. Some people might think they're too dim. The cool thing is you can go in there and you can adjust those CV ratings, and you can make them as bright or as dim as you like. So everything's customizable too.
Very cool. And I love the fact that you guys put 2 speakers in it now. That's pretty interesting, because a lot of companies, they just have 1 speaker, 1 decoder. But to get 2 speakers in that unit, I mean, it just adds to the sound and the dynamics of it.
It really does. In the office that I work, I think we mentioned earlier, a lot of us are working from home. So I'm working where I normally would, be working on the layout. And every once in a while, if I want to get a picture or something, I'll put one of these Genesis 2.0 locomotives on the modules, you know, and the sound's running. And after a while, it kind of fools you. The sound quality on these is so much better than they were a couple of generations ago.
Right. Very cool.
Now, Ken, I did do some checking while we were talking, and some folks have been asking about the veterans unit with the Montana Rail Link. Not this run, but this run we're going to concentrate on the essential workers. But looks like we're going to be looking into that in a future run.
Very cool. Well, I think people are going to be wanting to get both units, so we're going to make sure that you guys make it. I mean, it's a beautiful paint scheme, so make sure you pre-order your Athearn engine, the MRL logo first, and then they're also going to come out hopefully with the I believe it's honoring the veterans, or
honoring the veterans, yes,
honoring the veterans. So that's great. Two great paint schemes, and what's more patriotic and than those two paint schemes? It's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it really will. You know, we were talking about some of the other paint schemes, and I wanted to get to the Genesis 2.0 upgrade, but we do have some other fine paint schemes. This is kind of a first for us. This is Tacoma Rail, and we had a lot of modelers ask for this paint scheme, and it's a very very nice, neat, very eye-catching paint scheme. We're offering this in 2 road numbers, the 7001, the 7002. So that definitely, we've got some fan base in the out west that was looking for the Tacoma Rail.
Wow, very nice.
And let's see, I think I've got one more. No, that's it. Tacoma Rail is the last one. So yeah, definitely. These are going to go very quickly, and so I would definitely get your pre-orders in now, because a lot of, like I was saying earlier, a lot of these were highly asked for by our fans. And then we kind of surprised them with that Montana Rail Link Essential Workers unit. So there's a lot of eye candy in this release.
Yeah, beautiful paint scheme. And if you could just scroll up to the Montana Rail Link one more time.
Sure.
This way everybody knows what we're talking about. So this engine is brand new paint scheme, HO. I don't think anyone's ever done it before. It's brand new. Fresh paint scheme. You could see the paint. It's not even dry yet, and Athearn came out with it. So just beautiful. You got kind of like the American flag going with the stars and the stripes. Thank you to all essential workers. It's going to be their Athearn's blockbuster hit, and you could probably pair it up, and hopefully they make some announcement in the near future with the honoring veterans that kind of has that same look. So you could double head it. Just really cool looking engine, really nice. And you could, like you show on display here, it runs with the traditional Montana Rail Link engine. So
exactly.
Really cool. Good stuff, Jim.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the product development has been extremely busy in the last few months, because there's been a lot of exciting stuff out on the rails, and this is one of them. And this was one that we just couldn't pass up. We had to do this one, especially in light of everything that's been going on the last year. Yeah, the timing was right.
Cool. Very nice. All right. So what else you got for us, Jim?
Well, I think you and I were talking earlier about and I think you brought it up, the Spirit Power to the People UP unit. And I know you guys got a few of those left, I think.
Yeah, so we don't have many. This is the UP Spirit engine locomotive, and we're running a great special on these. And this is just a beautiful engine. Just really is, nice. Yeah. Just gorgeous paint scheme. And we're also doing a special on the Power to the People locomotive. Just really cool, different, unique engines. You guys just do a great job, and it's really the top of the line for any model train layout.
It really is. We're really happy with the Genesis line, and that's another neat locomotive. And I know you guys have got some great specials on those. So yeah, your fans are definitely, if they don't have one of these, if they've been thinking about it, they probably want order sooner than later, because they've been selling really well for you guys, haven't they?
Yeah, and what's really cool is your paint on these engines. I mean, the detailing is so crisp. I mean, it's you really don't. You're not like slapping a picture or just paint it. It just looks realistic. It's just like a real train. It's unbelievable. And the powered by our people. I wanted to bring it on to show everybody, but we don't have any. We sold out in our retail store, so I got to get some from Brooklyn. But the paint on that is so nice. I mean, it's just amazing what manufacturing has become from what it was years ago. I mean, it's just really nice.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, years ago I used to have to custom paint stuff, and as somebody that was the custom painter, I look at this and thinking to myself how much masking would be involved and how much work would be involved in doing all these different colors and all these different decals. And I realized, back in those days when I did my own custom painting, I had some great locomotives, but I didn't have a layout. So now I can devote my time to a layout, and Athearn's done all the hard work for us. All we got to do is take that out of the box, program it, and enjoy it.
Very nice, definitely. And even Maxi Magai 97, Athearn's factory did a great job on those complex paint schemes. And it's true, because you do see other manufacturers in other scales. It's not every time that a manufacturer gets the paint scheme right, but you guys always seem to be on the money with even just matching up the color. I mean, it may sound silly, but just a matching up the paint schemes to what it's really prototypically on the rail is just a huge maybe understatement that people don't take into account for. So you guys are just doing a great job on everything, and you guys have been around for forever. So I mean, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it, but it's 75 years. We're
Wow.
Celebrating our 75th year since manufacturing started in 1946, and I mean, it's that's true. When these come out, they're fresh. They look just like they left EMD or GE or whatever brand was made by. They are just, I mean, I don't do a lot of custom painting anymore, Ken.
Yep. No, I hear you. And you also have some was it SD60s or something?
Yeah, I got some SD60M samples that just came in. Now Train World's going to be getting these in stock. So if your customers have ordered these from you, they should be getting a call or an email from you here probably in a week or so.
Awesome.
So cool. I wanted to bring these on and just show everybody. I'm really, I have a soft spot for the SD60Ms because they were some of the first locomotives I caught rail fanning when I moved to Illinois. And these are just great. I've got a BNSF sample here in Heritage 2. And you know what? I'll tell you what, I will go ahead, and it's always kind of hard to see when it's in camera. I've got a picture I can share with our audience here.
Sure.
And let me grab that real quick. And that way you can see the same locomotive that I'm holding in a little bit better detail. I mean, so here we have an SD70M in the BNSF Heritage 2, which after 2002, BNSF started applying this paint scheme on all of their wide cab locomotives, like the 60M-2, or no, sorry, no dash 2. But you'll notice, this one has the nose-mounted number boards, and since this is Genesis 2.0, those number boards can be lit up independently. They don't just come on with the headlights. You've got all that great detail in the trucks and the fuel tank there. Your MU hoses, your cut lever, all of that is easily seen. And Ken, there was something else that there was some concerns in a previous run. We didn't get something quite right. We listened to our customers, and they were concerned about the middle window. Now you see here, it's something we don't really see much anymore, but back in the day, this was how the SD60M first arrived on the scene, and the rail fans called them a triclops because they got that funny window there. Well, previous one wasn't wasn't quite up to our demanding fans specs. And you know what? We're nothing without our customers. So we went ahead, did some work. There's a nice shot, show you that we've got that all done
neat.
up.
Very
The guys,
cool.
the guys in product development, they work extremely hard with the railroads, with our customers. And here's a sample. This is one of the CAD drawings that they were going by. So the whole new SD60Ms, not only are they coming in the Genesis 2.0, but we've addressed that issue. We've taken care of it. You can rest assured now that you're going to have a locomotive that is accurate to the full scale locomotive.
Very cool. Beautiful. And that's really great. It seems like you mentioned quite a few times on the show just tonight that you're listening to the customers. You're getting emails. You're taking that into account, and so that's great for all the guys on this virtual event tonight. Thank you for chiming in and giving all this feedback, because it is helpful. It's and it seems like you guys are paying attention and actually listening and putting I guess putting action to it. So that's great.
Yeah, Ken, it's one of the things that I say on our Train Tuesday every week. A lot of us at Athearn, we're modelers too. We enjoy the hobby as much as everybody out there that's watching. But again, we're nothing without our customers. And so we want to listen to our customers. And unfortunately, that's been kind of tough lately, because usually I get to talk with everybody person to person at a train show. And
right.
Unfortunately, we don't have that. But we do have a email at our website that we just introduced a few weeks ago. If you go to the athearn.com website and go to contact us, we have a product suggestion email. So you can put that in there. And, we're doing some things like some surveys. We want to hear from you, the modelers. What would you like to see? What roads would you like to see, and things of that nature. And,
that's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun that way.
No, it's important. And, sometimes feedback is tough, but you guys are trying to improve the models the best way you can, which is really nice, and that's what people want. And we haven't planned for this, but I also want to go over the SD70 ACUs for CP. I mean,
oh yeah,
these paint schemes are really unique, different, and I feel like this is one of those underrated engines where people see CP, but they're not going to see the paint scheme until they hit the retail stores. And you guys are very supportive of the retailers. So, once people actually see these in all the retail stores that you sell across the country, I think the SD70 ACU with the CP paint schemes are going to be a home run. And I really think you're going to sell out very quickly on these. I'm a big, I don't know, I just think it looks really nice.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we worked really hard with CP Rail on those. It was one of those projects that we had so much work being done in product development. And, there again, that was a locomotive that we chose that because we had so many requests for the SD70 ACU. We were originally going to release them at Train Festa over a year ago. But when we found out what CP Rail was doing, like what you've got on your screen there, you're showing the naval one, we just had to get on board with that. We contacted CP Rail. They were absolutely awesome to work with. They helped us out so much. So the authenticity of these paint schemes are as accurate as we can get in HO scale.
Yeah, no, they're really nice. And again, I just think once they hit your dealer network and all the local hobby shops, once people come in the stores and see these things, I think everybody's going to go crazy. And I think it's going to be one of your underrated engines where people, just end up falling in love with it. And once they see it, because, CP kind of, if you don't take a close glance, it's just another CP engine. But these are brand new paint schemes and really unique, different. So I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I mean, we were really excited to work with CP Rail on those. I mean, they were doing this for a good cause too. They were, acknowledging the veterans not only within the railroad that work for them, but veterans throughout the United States and Canada. And it's just really cool when you see a Class 1 railroad do paint schemes like this. And it's kind of neat how you've got the naval one there, how they basically mimicked an actual naval ship. You know, you've got all those colors in just the right areas, so it actually mimics a naval vessel.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's a nice engine, and I think people, once they really see it, and hopefully, do you know when you're going to be receiving them, or when are these coming out?
Yeah, these are due in November of this year. So we should see them anywhere between the middle to end of November. So, if we go to Train Fest, hopefully we'll see them at Train Fest.
Yeah, I mean, once people really see these, and this lining up with December Christmas rush, these are going to be sold out before they even come out. So make sure you pre-order because these are definitely going to go quick. And I actually got to up my order and make sure we have enough stock on these, because I think that's going to be really cool and unique. But so you guys got a bunch of new different paint schemes and Genesis 2.0 with all these new features. So you got a lot in the pipeline, Jim.
We really do. I mean, it's been busy the last few months. The pandemic hasn't really slowed us down. If anything, it's made us busier because folks are working on their layouts, folks are working on their models, and so that's given us the desire to just give the modeler more of what they want.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. And so Jim, great stuff. And I hope you come on more often, because I'd love to have you. And you're a great ambassador for the hobby. And even though we have a newer relationship together, and but we do have a long-standing relationship with Athearn. But you personally, you're a great guy, and you know your stuff. You're a true modelist and hobbyist, and we're excited. Hopefully, you could bring on some samples of this new stuff.
Yeah, that's the desire. It really is. I mean, it's a great hobby to be in. It's a great job to have, and it's the thing that makes me the happiest as a modeler and a employee for Athearn is seeing the look on somebody's faces when they get their model. Seeing how happy they are with those models. That's the best thing for Athearn, is seeing that enjoyment.
Very cool. Anything else before we tune off?
I don't think so. I just want to, like I said, I showed these SD60Ms. They should be in your on your website here pretty soon for sale. So if anybody out there didn't maybe know about the pre-orders back in March, it was right when that pandemic was starting. Go ahead and go to the Train World website and check them out. They'll be here probably about 2 or 3 weeks.
Very cool. Well, Jim, thank you so much for coming on. And I really wanted everyone out there to really see the engine and hear about this MRL specialty unit, because I think it's going to be a home run piece. And I really think once people see this paint scheme, everybody's going to fall in love with it. So I'm happy to hear that there may be some more to it, and a possible different paint scheme, but very similar as an add-on, and we're excited to hear that. So lots of good stuff, Jim. Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
Well, thank you everybody out there for watching. We really appreciate it. And you can get all your Athearn trains at trainworld.com. Jim, thank you so much for being a champ and coming on tonight's episode. We really appreciate you having being on tonight.
Hey, thanks, Ken. It was a pleasure being here, and thanks for having me on board.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.